It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the four films released on August 7th, 2009. We've got a comedy, we've got a horror film, an indie film, and an action movie. So we're covering most of the bases here today. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump right on into it with the biggest new release of the weekend. Yo Joe, it's G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Of course, this is based off the popular G.I. Joe toys, and of course, it was made into a television series in the 1980s, which also spawned an animated movie, which is still pretty badass after all these years. But in this movie, you follow Duke and Ripcord, played by Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans, who joined the G.I. Joe team, and after being attacked by military Armenians research syndicate Mars troops. And of course, their big enemy is Cobra, which includes some notable names in there, including Sienna Miller as the Baroness. We also have, I don't see his name on here. Isn't that Christopher Eccleston? Yeah, I figured it was Christopher Eccleston. You also have him as Destro. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the man who will eventually become Cobra Commander. You have, who else? Who else do we have here? Rachel Nichols playing Scarlet. She was in Star Trek earlier in the year. Edwali Akinino Egbahi. I have probably butchered that name completely. I'm sorry for that, but he plays Heavy Duty, and you see Dennis Quaid as Hawk. And it's directed by Stephen Sommers, who gave us The Mummy, and those movies are... The Mummy is at least a fun, over-the-top movie, and if you're going to get anybody to direct a G.I. Joe movie that's not really going to ask you to use your brain and all that, this is probably the movie to do it with. And sure enough, who would have guessed that this would have been the much more fun Hasbro toy line movie than Transformers Revenge of the Fallen? I mean, who could have seen that coming? Maybe not back then, but certainly nowadays when you really think about it and considering what was going on at the time. But regardless, G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra is a pretty badass movie. I mean, this is a ton of fun. It knows exactly the type of movie it wants to be, and it isn't trying to dumb down its audience like Revenge of the Fallen did. Like, it's not written by people who are hacks. It's not written by somebody who had to take over because of the writer's strike. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know it's stupid. They know it's ridiculous, but you know what? They're going to do their damnedest to entertain the hell out of you, and sure enough, that's exactly what they do here, and the film just works. It's a very good movie. It's a silly, fun action film. I mean, it has a lot of stuff in here that just works so well. Everything about this movie is just so over the top, so ridiculous, but so fun, all on the same wavelengths. I mean, it's a really fun, silly movie, and it works because everybody plays their parts really well. Dennis Quaid's very good playing the leader of the team. You know, Channing Tatum, you know, this was his big chance to show everybody he could be potentially an action star in the future, which worked for a little bit, and then he eventually went the comedy route, and I think that's probably the best thing for him. Marlon Wayans doing something a little more straightforward and more serious than he's usually doing. And, you know, Sienna Miller looking gorgeous as hell as the Baroness. And Rachel Nichols is pretty good in here playing Scarlet, Sean Amber O'Hara. And the fact that I like the fact that she actually has a relationship with, of all people, Marlon Wayans, which is just like, and it does kind of work. It actually does play very well to the film overall. And, you know, you got Ray Park as Snake Eyes. Ray Park, of course, was Darth Maul in the Phantom Menace. And guy's pretty badass in here. He doesn't have to say anything, really. He just does to do what he does best. And it works very well. And the film overall is really good. It's a really entertaining movie. It's a very fun film that doesn't have to ask you to use your brain. It just says, check your brain at the door. Go in, have a good time, and unlike Revenge of the Fallen, it doesn't insult your intelligence with what they're doing here. There's nothing stereotypically bad about it. I mean, story-wise, it's nothing that's amazing or nothing that's spectacular, but it does give the audience what it wants to see. Do you want to see G.I. Joe on the big screen? Here you go. We're going to do it the right way, and yeah, it works really well. It's a film that is a very, very solid film. It's not asking you to use your brain or anything. It just wants you to have a good time, and it definitely delivers on that and then some. It's a really fun movie. I enjoyed it a lot. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Pretty good series overall, with the exception of Snake Eyes, the last film, but really that one, it really wasn't the film's fault or really the actor's fault. It was really the actor's fault of that, Henry Golding. Just not a very good script overall. But the second one, G.I. Joe Retaliation, is not a bad one. We'll get to that one in 2013, of course, but that's G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra. So let's get to one of the best movies of the year, and that is Amy Adams and Meryl Streep in Julie and Julia. Of course, you have the story here of contrasting the life of Chef Julia Child, played here by Meryl Streep in the early years of her culinary career, with the life of a young New Yorker played by Amy Adams, who aspires to cook all 524 recipes in Child's cookbook, My Life in France, in 365 days, a challenge she described in our popular Salon blog, which made her a published author. Now, I didn't know this until I did the research. This is actually the first major motion picture based off of an internet blog, which I thought was kind of interesting overall, But yeah, talk about a good way to go out on your career with Nora Ephron. It really wasn't her fault because she passed away not but 3 years after this movie came out, and kind of ending a really solid film career. There were a couple misses there, but overall, great career. I mean, you do Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, Bewitched, which I still think is a really good movie, and this film. I mean, this is a really, really good movie, and it works largely because of Meryl Streep and Amy Adams. They both work off each other very well, even though we never see them together. You could see that they're both on the same wavelength of what they're trying to accomplish in their goals. Like, Meryl Streep, is trying to put together this cookbook, and Amy Adams trying to find some emphasis in her life. She wants to do the same thing with her, and it creates this little bond that they have together that you never see them get together at any point, and it really does a very good job of handling that. And when you have somebody like Ephron who can make it works very well. And you also have a good cast that includes Stanley Tucci and Chris Messina. Not much more to say about it, honestly. It's a really damn good movie. It's a really entertaining film. One of the best movies of the year, easily. And like I said, a great film for Nora Ephron to go out of. I'm having trouble speaking right now. Overall, a really good film to go out on with your career. I mean, that's basically what I want to say. But, yeah, a really great film. Meryl Streep got an Oscar nomination for this. I feel like Amy Adams got screwed over by this because she should have gotten the nomination, but this was the only one that... Meryl Streep was the only one that got it. Not really much of a surprise because, Meryl Streep can literally be sitting on a toilet taking a crap, and they'd probably get an Oscar... She'd probably get an Oscar nomination for that. It wouldn't even be for a movie. They just do it anyway, but yeah, that's a pleasant way to go out on this review. That's Julie and Julia. So let's go. Speaking of crap, here's a crappy movie. Perfect Getaway. Okay, first of all, when did someone say, "Do you mind if I do this?" Mean, yes, you can do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if someone ever says, do you mind doing this? And someone's saying, yes, I do mind. I thought that meant don't do it. I mean, that's what I've been pretty much been told to understand. But apparently nowadays, just like, if someone says, do you mind if we do this? Yeah, go ahead. No, there's no worries. Like, I mean, like, it just, like, I don't know. But, second of all, I didn't know that was Chris Hemsworth in there. That another movie he made pre getting cast as Thor. But third, this isn't a very good movie. I mean, this is a movie where you have Timothy Olyphant, Mila Jovovich, Keely Sanchez, and Steve Zahn, starring as a group of vacationing couples in Hawaii will find their lives in danger when murders begin to occur on the island, leading to suspicions over one of the couples being the killers. Yeah, and it's pretty much a straightforward ripoff of something like The River Wild, kind of, except it's a couple this time around instead of somebody else in there going off on this adventure. And the big difference is that The River Wild was actually something enjoyable. It wasn't a great movie, but it was certainly more enjoyable than this film. This is kind of a boring movie, man, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I really don't like Mila Jovovich. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't help it. She's not a good actress. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you can be suckered into the Resident Evil movies all you want to, or Ultraviolet, but I'm sorry, she sucks as an actress. I've only seen one movie where she's been tolerable, and that's The Fifth Element. That's it. I mean, this is not a good movie. It's a boring film. The characters are so bland and stock. There's nothing about them that makes it interesting whatsoever. And you could pretty much figure out right from the get-go who the bad guys are going to be and what's going to be the big twist at the end. There's nothing surprising about this movie at all. It's a boring film. It's a lazy film. These actors deserve a lot better than this. And I'm talking about Tim Olyphant, Steve Zahn, Chris Hemsworth, Marley Shelton is also in here too. I mean, they deserve a better movie than this, man. It just isn't there. I might be alone on this, but Perfect Getaway is not a good movie. I'm sorry, A Perfect Getaway. I need to get the full title correct. So that is A Perfect Getaway. Not a perfect movie by any means, and far from it. It's pretty bad, in my opinion. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our last film that we have here, which is Michael Cera and Charlene Yi in the indie film Paper Heart. So this is basically a romantic comedy which stars Charlene Yi from Knocked Up, and also been later to be seen in Steven Universe, and Michael Cera as fictionalized versions of themselves based on their rumored relationship at the time, though Yi had said they never dated. So essentially, the film is based off of an idea for a documentary that would be accentuated with a fictional storyline, and I guess it's fine. But it's not one of the better indie movies in general. It just feels kind of like it's there. Like, there's nothing really about it that makes it stand out or anything. You could buy I guess you could buy Michael Cera and Charlene Yi having this chemistry together as possibly a romantic couple. I mean, if they wanted to go down that route, that's fine, but why make a movie about something that never really happened if you're trying to sell it as somewhat of a documentary? I mean, you gotta have a hook to it at least, but other than that, though, there really is nothing about the film that makes it stand out on any way, shape, or form, and it's not even really that funny of a movie. I mean, it's a film where they're trying to do something different, they're trying to do something interesting here, but it just isn't there, and I feel like there should have been so much more that they could have done with this, but yeah, I was really expecting a lot more from it, and I'm kind of let down by it, per se. I mean, I really thought it was going to be a whole lot better than I thought it was, and it just didn't do it for me, unfortunately. So, yeah, not a bad movie, but certainly not the good film that I thought it could have been. Very much disappointed on this one. That's Paper Hearts. And so, with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and we've got a pretty stacked week coming up next time around. 6 movies to take a look at on the weekend of August 14th, including a very damn good original sci-fi film, Neil Blomkamp's District 9. We also have Rachel McAdams and Eric Bana in The Time Traveler's Wife, Jeremy Piven in The Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard, the latest film from Studio Ghibli, Hayao Miyazaki's Ponyo. We have Vanessa Hudgens and Ashley Tisdale in the film Bandslam, and we also have Ashton Kutcher and Anne Heche starring in Spread. So, a lot of good gems coming your way next time around. A lot of good movies to talk about. We'll delve into those coming up on the next episode tomorrow. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and hit that playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And also, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification button, and the bell. You get updates on when new videos come out there, and we do post new videos here every day. So, with all that said, I'm off. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.